welcome to Popped. I am Caitlin Darby and I'm your host, and we're gonna get into some things that happen in pop culture this week. We're gonna see what pops off, okay? So if you're wondering if we're still talking about Love Island, we are. I'm so glad you asked, because we are. And particularly what I want to talk about is Nicole on the Vile Files. Now, first of all, if you don't know who Nick Vile is, relatable, okay? He apparently was on The Bachelor, and now he has a popular podcast called The Vile Files. Okay, so the thing about the podcast with Nick Vile that really pissed me off, first of all, Nicole has been making it seem as though she's getting like fucking bullied and like all kind of other shit since the Love Island season finale, okay? I was all up in that shit, and I didn't see people bullying her, or like people were just pointing out the fact that they don't think that she and Kendall were together anymore, which, I mean, she wasn't posting anything compared to everybody else who was like very active, even like Rob and Aaron. And Aaron was literally the villain this season. He was still posting stuff. So it was strange that she wasn't really posting anything. We assumed that something happened between her and Kendall. Nobody was really being like, oh, Nicole, like, what a bitch. No, I didn't really see any of that. And I'm in, like, I follow a bunch of Love Island pages. I follow, like, I'm in a Love Island group on Facebook. And not to say that it's not out there that doesn't exist, but I think the large majority was not saying like these things about Nicole. I mean, there's always somebody who's being like a fucking monster online, but for the most part I wasn't seeing a whole lot of, you know, Nicole, especially because there was so much other stuff going on. Like, people were obsessed with the main three groups. Like, people were really worried about what was going on with them. People were talking about Kayla and Aaron, like stuff like that. Okay, and plus drama outside. I know there was drama with Sierra, there was drama with Kane. So I really don't think Nicole was that big of a focus. Okay, anyways, she's on the Vile Files. I think she's like the last one of the group to go on the show. And Nick Vile, mind you, 43-year-old man with like, his wife is somewhere around Nicole's age, like 25, 26. They got married when she was 20 and he was 38. So there's an 18-year age gap. So he very much gives the vibe that he wants to be like he is the smarter, or like wants to seem like he's the smartest person in the room. Very much gives that like, oh, I'm like the older wise guy. Like, he gives me the vibe that he kind of maybe like manipulates younger women. And that kind of seemed like what was going on in this episode. And then he's like getting his master's or whatever and fucking like counseling or something. Bitch, you need to go back and get your undergrad in it. You need a good 4 years plus the extra 2 to 3 years of your master's, because the situation that was going on with him and Nicole, it seemed like he was like leading her to answers. You know how the cops get like false confessions out of people by leading them? That's kind of what he was giving to me. And like he was alluding to things about Kendall that if I were Kendall, I would fucking have a lawsuit against Nick Vile for defamation of character. Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying any of the shit Kendall did in the villa in Casa Amor, any of that shit was excusable, but at the end of the fucking day, a crime got committed against this man. Somebody leaked a very intimate video of him. Literally a fucking crime. And instead of having empathy towards that, Nick Vile is saying like, oh, I get the feeling that Kendall, I'm not meeting Kendall, I'm not talking to Kendall, I'm talking to who Kendall wants me to see. I don't think he's a man that's very comfortable with his real self. What the fuck do you mean? Like, alluding to the fact that Kendall is covering up his sexuality is basically what he was doing. And as for Nicole, if Nicole is getting any hate post-reunion, it's all self-inflicted. It's all shit that she brought on herself because, again, Kendall got a crime committed against him. and you're trying to make yourself the victim. Oh, he lied, he lied, he lied, he lied. Bitch, if I got out of a fucking 8-week social experiment, just got my phone, find out my pussy was leaked to the world, bitch, I'd lie too. That's embarrassing. That's fucking traumatizing. Your family is gonna see that. This is a fresh relationship. He don't really know how you're gonna react. Like, he knows you in the villa, but he doesn't know you in the real world. And this is how you're reacting? I'd have fucking lied to you too. That's so, like, embarrassing, traumatizing. Why have you no empathy or sympathy for what this man is going through? The way Nicole got on that podcast and shit all over who Kendall is as a person, I suspected they wouldn't stay together post Love Island, and she just confirmed that. Because if you really love and care about somebody, he lied to you. He got hate crimed, ho. He got fucking hate crimed. And you fucking getting on the show, making this about yourself, and, you know, saying all this shit about him, and almost kind of alluding to the fact that maybe he was like a racist because of the situation that happened at the club with those girls. It's ridiculous. Truly, her reaction has been truly ridiculous. If you're really if it's that crushing for somebody to lie to you, I'm not excusing lying or whatever, but like, in this situation, can you kind of see why he lied? Like, her absolute lack of understanding, and maybe she understands and she just doesn't like care, but her absolute lack of caring toward Kendall in this situation just made me feel like she never really gave a fuck. I think he genuinely cared about her. She genuinely didn't care about him, because one, he asked you not to bring up the video of the reunion. It's the first fucking thing you bring up and throw it in his face. Then you go on the fucking VOD files. He asked you not to talk about it there, and you talked about it again, saying, oh, it needed to be talked about. Did it? Did it? Because it really all seems like a ploy to make yourself seem like a victim, like you're this scorned woman. His actions have directly affected me. Yes. But somebody else's actions have directly affected him. His life, his fucking livelihood, perhaps. I fucking sue Nicole for getting on there and talking shit about me. Kendall broke things off with her, and honestly, I feel like that's for the best. I think Nicole needs extensive therapy, and not the type of therapy that Nick Val is giving out. Because she did kept saying, oh, this feels like a therapy session. I'm sure that really like stroked his weird ass ego. As somebody who's been to therapy, Nick Val, you need some more training. You need to be an apprentice somewhere for several years. Like, he's just not an empathetic host, and he's not at all the right person that Nicole should have been having this conversation with. He really validated, like, kind of her wrongness. Now, I think, like, Cordell and Serena went on Keke Palmer's podcast. I think she would have been a perfect host. She's very much, like, interested and intrigued in what the guests have going on. She's not constantly making it about her. She's not constantly saying, oh, I'm Nick Val and I was on The Bachelor every fucking episode, because we don't care. We don't care, bitch. I don't even remember you on The fucking Bachelor. I don't remember you at all. Before this, I thought you were just some random guy with a podcast. So I think a much more empathetic and attentive host would have been better about this. Now, honestly, I don't think Nicole would have been a good guest in that situation, because whenever the whole cast was telling her, like, what the fuck, you were basically ignoring every time Kendall was texting you, like, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh, well, I guess my feelings don't matter. You need to be tranquilized. You need, like, some hypnotic therapy or something, or whatever it is, to work through whatever issues you have. You're definitely not healed enough to have been on this show in the first place, and you're definitely not healed enough to have a successful relationship outside of the villa. So it's probably for the best that Kendall ended things. Okay? The way Nick Bob treated her is probably the way that he treated his wife and conned her into marrying him, because he probably doesn't have that many redeeming qualities. Okay? What else? Oh, one more thing, I think, Love Island wise, is that people are like shitting on Daniela. Okay, first of all, Danielle and Kayla are they're both girls still. And Aaron is a grown man pushing 30. And for everybody saying, oh, Daniela isn't a girl's girl, she could have told Kayla, blah, blah, blah. It's not really Daniela's place to tell Kayla, because she doesn't owe Kayla anything. As somebody who was partnered with Kayla for the entire summer, that was Aaron's responsibility. He is a liar and a manipulator, and we need to get off Daniela's dick, I fear. And also, not that I thought Andrea was that likable or like I'm a fan or anything, but I really didn't appreciate how she was getting ganged up on. Like, she has obviously an issue with Leah, so why can't her and Leah hash it out? Now, Andrea did sit there and take her licks while Leah was like, you know, telling her whatever. She sat there and she ate it because she knew she got out of here and she was talking shit and blah blah blah. But when you look at, I'm not gonna get back into the reunion stuff. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, back to the Kendall and Nicole situation. Nicole had apparently not seen the video of Kendall, and Janae pulled her to the side and showed it to her. I didn't like anything about that. That was not Janae's place at all. That's actually very icky to me, because you're out here hanging out with Kendall. He's supposed to be your friend. You're showing his partner intimate videos of him that got leaked. That seems wrong to me, and it doesn't seem like her place, because apparently, I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that Janae is also the one who told Nicole, oh, he sent this to somebody on a dating app or whatever. That seemed very wrong to me. But moving on. The DNC happened this past week, and I feel like there were obviously some missed opportunities. There were some really good moments. And oh my God, please shut the fuck up if you're telling people, oh, they shouldn't feel hopeful or whatever. Because as somebody who's like usually pretty cynical, I feel relatively hopeful about this. Like, it's a change. It's different. Like, I feel like Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have shown that they'll be willing to listen to like what constituents want. Tim Walz definitely. I definitely feel like they're a little more progressive than what we have been seeing. And goddamn, single issue voters, please leave, especially leave black voters, the fuck alone. Telling them, oh, you don't care about this, you don't care about that if you vote for Kamala Harris. I gotta put me first, Lucius. Like, what the fuck? Do you know the detriment that would happen to the black community if under another Trump administration? Have you read any of Project 2025 and how it affects black people, poor people, rural people, women, the LGBTQ plus community? No, and you don't give a fuck. And a lot of that is rooted in anti-blackness. A lot of these creators on TikTok or whatever who are talking about trying to tell black voters what to do and saying you're not an ally if you do this, you do that. Some deep-rooted anti-blackness. Need you to pull one of these. Okay? Because at the end of the day, I'd go as far as to say black people are still the most marginalized, hated community in the world. Like, why don't you understand? Black people bear the brunt of every disparity, every inequity, every inequality for the most part. Can we just Get the fuck out black people's business. Stop trying to tell them what to do. Unless they're running around saying they're gonna vote for Trump because of a fucking stimulus check. You still on that $1,200 from 4 years ago? You ain't worked since then? You willing to sell out the black community for $1,200? Sickening. I just want you to know, Trump did not want to give you that $1,200, Bookie. Congress had to fight for it. And not Republican Congress either. But anyways, the DNC did have some good moments. If you say shit about Gus Walls crying because he loves his dad, it's apparent to me that your dad hates you. A lot of people have daddy issues. Why are you mad that he doesn't? Why are you mad that his dad gives a shit about him and he loves his dad? Please. Michelle Obama spoke. And bravely enough, her husband had the audacity to go behind her and speak. You couldn't pay me to go speak after Michelle Obama. If I was Kamala Harris, I'm the nominee, I'd let Michelle Obama speak last. That's how much I don't want to go behind her. But you know, Barack did go. Everybody's favorite war criminal. He went and, you know, said his little piece. I don't think politicians should be loved or worshipped, but I really love me some OBZ. The man has charisma, okay? And there were a few flops, I'd say. I think it's nice or whatever you're bringing out celebrities and stuff. Like, that does draw a crowd. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of people don't care about that. People can't buy houses. People can't afford rent. People can't afford groceries. People don't make a livable wage. Rural America suffers from healthcare deserts, all types of shit. The celebrity stuff is nice, but we really need to hear what you're going to do for the average person. You know, we have a housing crisis. We have an unhoused crisis. There's tons of crises going on in America. And the pomp and circumstance is nice and fun, but we do need to hear, like, what's the plan, sister? Sister Silk Press, Giggles McGee, what are you gonna do? Okay. And then we saw Don Lemon outside. I don't remember if it was outside of the DNC or just like outside somewhere, asking the black community if they were voting for Trump, and they were like, yes. He gave us the stimulus. He did this for the black community. He did that. I'm like, what did he do? What did he do for you? Is what he did for you in the room with us right now? No. The DNC, I will say one just like jarring, I guess, moving moments when they brought out the Central Park Five, who are, I don't even like to talk about it. I didn't watch the documentary or the show on Netflix about it because it's just sickening. Donald Trump wanted to put those boys away for life. I'm pretty sure he wanted to give them the death penalty. So bringing them out was an insane power move, in my opinion. What else? RFK dropped out of the race. Thank God. I'm so tired of hearing about all the weird shit that he's done. He's honestly such a fucking embarrassment and a turn. I don't even know if that's... I don't know. He's out here tarnishing the Kennedy reputation. I think in their prime, the Kennedy family actually did so much good and changed this country for the better, changed the course of this country for the better. Honestly, if John F. Kennedy would have lived, I think he would have done a substantial amount more. You're out here doing embarrassing things, saying weird things, like you dropped off a dead bear in Central Park. What the fuck? And then not only you drop out, or you're gonna endorse Trump, which is insane to me because of all the people who were like, oh, vote RFK, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's playing for the same team. So what do you have to say for that now? Okay. JFK is rolling over in his grave. I'm honestly embarrassed for the rest of the family, and there's a reason why they don't fuck with him, and this is why. Um, you know, you're related to one of the maybe greatest politicians, most influential men probably of all time, and you're out here fucking embarrassing him. He's rolling over in his grave. Know that. Okay? Very strange. He's weird. And ever since the DNC, Trump has been spiraling. They should have never gave him his Twitter back. They were like, oh, it's, I forgot what Mark Zuckerberg said. Something about like political expression or whatever, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure Elon has been like censoring stuff that Kamala has been tweeting. Anyways, he's been spiraling. He's crashing the fuck out in real time. And honestly, I fucking love it. Okay, on to the next thing. Chappell Roan. Okay. Some people claim to be fans of Chappell Roan. I'm definitely a fan of her. I love Chappell. I love her music. I love her looks. I fucks with her. Heavy. I fucks with that white girl. I fucks with that gay white girl. Okay? Stalking her. Showing up. Like, the weird shit that people are doing. You're not real fans. You're actual fucking weirdos. And the fact that just because she's an artist or whatever, you think that she owes you something, she does not. Her going online and making a video setting a boundary, basically saying, you can't do this, I have to set this boundary for my own mental health. Like, I want to be an artist for a long time. Now, mind you, she did get very big very fast. But even people who are more well adjusted to fame are like, yeah, back the fuck up. Like, you can't, back the fuck up. So she basically made a video like making a boundary, like, don't follow me, don't do this, don't do that, don't. And people are have the nerve to give her shit about it. Y'all are weird as fuck. Y'all are gonna make her disappear off into the ether like fucking Frank Ocean, who we only see every fucking 76 years, like Haley's comment. And then you're mad about it. Oh, Frank, no, you're gonna drop out. That's because y'all are weird. Y'all are fucking weird. And unless you want the same thing to happen to Chappell, you need to back the fuck up. Damn. And for now, that's everything that popped off this week. See you next week.